Welcome to Entertainment Daily with breaking news on matters arising. Let's go over to Uganda as we give you the breaking news in Uganda. Uganda's president signs into law anti-gay legislation with death penalty in some cases. All right, let's get into the full story. Kampala, Uganda. Uganda's president has signed into law anti-gay legislation supported by many in the East African country, but widely condemned by right activists and others abroad. The version of the bill signed by President Yoweri Museveni doesn't criminalize those who identify as LGBTQ+. A key concern of some rights campaigners who condemned an earlier draft of the legislation as an egregious attack on human rights. But the new law still prescribes the death penalty for aggravated homosexuality, which is defined as cases of sexual relation involving people infected with HIV, as well as with minors and other categories of vulnerable people. A suspect convicted of attempted aggravated homosexuality can be imprisoned for up to 14 years according to the legislation. Parliamentary Speaker Anita Among said in a statement that the president had answered the cries of the people in signing the bill. Now, if you are an African or Ugandan, East African, in fact, African in general, and if you come across this video, I would love for you to actually share with us in the comment section what are your thoughts, okay? Let's discuss this. Let's talk about this because it has been a while now, okay? Now, some of you might not really know the backstory. Not too long ago, the United States actually urged Uganda. They've been putting pressure on all the African countries to actually do this by making it legal for people to freely do whatever they want to do, talking about the LGBTQ stuff. But the African countries and their leaders always stood firm by saying this is not part of our culture, doesn't support our tradition, doesn't support our beliefs and anything, and we're not going to be part of this. The United States went further to threaten Uganda in particular, saying that they're going to cut ties and they're going to have some, punishments and whatnot if they don't do so. And I think that also contributed to this act that is being put into law, this bill, okay, that is being signed by the president. Because if you remember, the president has said nobody is going to tell, and I do agree on this one with the president of Uganda, nobody from outside is going to tell the people of Uganda or any African country how to rule their country. The United States is doing what they want to do for the United States, for their people, making their decisions, and nobody else is interfering. But United States and Europe, they are fond of always putting their eyes in what Africans are doing. Now, mind you, nobody is saying don't be LGBTQ, don't be a gay, lesbian, whatnot, do whatever you want to do. But if you want to call a spade, LGBTQ or not is not the number one problem that Africa in general is facing. All the African countries, if you check all of them, the number one problem that the nation is facing is not LGBTQ. So I don't even understand why countries like United States and Europe and the rest of the world is trying to put pressure on African countries to legalize it and make that is not the number one problem. If you're even counting from 1 to 10, that is not even the 10th problem that Africa is facing as at this time. So yes, it does make sense that the president will finally go ahead and say, okay, damn the whole consequences that is going to come with this. We are standing by our tradition, our culture, our beliefs, and this is what we're going to do. And I love the fact that this bill, they actually, explained it, and they're saying nobody is saying do not be your LGBTQ or practice what LGBTQ people practice. What all we are saying is certain things that is accepted out there will not be accepted here in Africa. Certain types of behavior and characters, those pedophilia and all this type of nonsense that is being introduced will not be welcome here. Comment down below. Thank you so very much for watching, and let me know what is your take.